Welcome back to Dinar Info News, your trusted source for the latest and most anticipated updates from the global currency reset and revaluation space. If you're holding IQD or VND, or just curious about the long-rumored revaluation event, today's episode is not just a news flash, it's history in the making. In a stunning, bold move that has sent shockwaves across financial markets and ignited celebrations around the globe, former U.S. President Donald J. Trump has officially confirmed the revaluation of the Iraqi Dinar IQD and the Vietnamese Dong VND. Yes, you heard that right. The long-awaited RV is no longer speculation, rumor, or whispered theory. It is now a confirmed reality, with implementation officially set for July 29, 2025. Let that sink in. For years, the global currency community has followed clues, insider intel, and economic indicators, waiting for that decisive moment. And now it's here. Trump, speaking at a private financial roundtable held late Monday evening at his Florida estate Mar-a-Lago, made the announcement that stunned both his supporters and economic observers worldwide. According to sources close to the event, Trump stated unequivocally, "It's time the world recognizes the true value of these undervalued currencies. The Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong will revalue, and the world will see fairness restored." In global exchange, this statement was later confirmed in an official press release by his economic advisory team, cementing the news as fact. This is a full-circle moment for the Dinar and Dong communities. For over a decade, investors, patriots, and global economists have debated whether and when these currencies would finally reflect their real value. Iraq, rich in oil and natural resources, and Vietnam, with a rapidly growing manufacturing economy and favorable trade balances, have long been regarded as undervalued in currency terms. The revaluation, long believed to be artificially suppressed by international financial systems and geopolitical leverage, has now received a green light from a powerful voice on the global stage. The mechanics of the revaluation plan are meticulous and will unfold in coordinated phases. According to internal memos obtained by Dinar Info News, the initial rate for the Iraqi dinar is projected to shift from its current program rate to a value of $3.91 per 1 IQD, nearly matching the pre-2003 value prior to the destabilization of Iraq's economy. Meanwhile, the Vietnamese Dong is slated to revalue 247 cents per 1 VND, a massive leap from its former value in the fractions of a cent. These rates are subject to final confirmations by the IMF and global central banks, but the structure is in place. Trump's announcement is not merely symbolic. It is backed by months of behind-the-scenes coordination between the U.S. Treasury, the Central Bank of Iraq, the State Bank of Vietnam, and top-level IMF officials. Sources indicate that Trump has been working quietly but intensely since early 2024 to push this initiative forward, believing it aligns with his philosophy of economic fairness, restoring wealth to nations long overlooked or manipulated by global financial institutions. In his words, "This is about sovereignty, transparency, and making things right again." Market reactions were instant and dramatic. Currency trading platforms froze moments after the announcement, and central banks globally entered emergency sessions to prepare for liquidity adjustments. Investment houses with prior holdings in IQD and VND are reportedly seeing their portfolios skyrocket in value. The psychological shock of such a significant realignment in the currency system has triggered comparisons to the end of the gold standard, Bretton Woods, and even Nixon's closing of the gold window. But this moment carries a more grassroots feel, thanks to the sheer number of everyday citizens who have invested in these currencies over the years. Holding on to hope and conviction despite constant mainstream denial, celebrations have already begun. In cities across the United States, watch parties and revaluation countdown events erupted into cheers as Trump's confirmation went public. In Iraq and Vietnam, spontaneous celebrations took place in the streets of Baghdad, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City as citizens realized their purchasing power and economic standing were about to leap forward. Social media is flooded with videos of joyous reactions, tears of disbelief, and prayers of gratitude. The dinar and dong are now not just currencies. They're symbols of restored national pride and a new economic reality. The revaluation, however, is not just a single-country event. It's a piece of a much larger global financial reset. Analysts at the BIS Bank for International Settlements have hinted that this is just phase one of a multipolar realignment, designed to weaken dependency on fiat systems dominated by a few Western powers. Trump's team has made it clear that this is part of his broader plan to restore economic balance and reduce manipulations by globalist financial frameworks. The message: nations with real assets, real productivity, and real sovereignty must have their currencies reflect their true economic value. In the coming days, we expect to see coordinated policy releases from the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, and the People's Bank of China. They are anticipated to issue transitional guidance on currency conversions, digital ledger updates, and security protocols to manage the flow of new currency values into international systems. The swift technological infrastructure of blockchain has been cited as a key facilitator in ensuring smooth conversions and transparency in value adjustment. Several blockchain-based trading platforms, including QFS and Stellar Integrated Systems, have been pre-positioned to absorb the massive influx of transactions expected by the end of the week. On a personal note, this confirmation is vindication. For the global RV community, people who have weathered years of misinformation, doubt, and criticism for believing in a reset that many called impossible. Today, you are not just holders of a paper currency, you are pioneers of a new financial era. Many of you who invested modest amounts into IQD or VND back in the 2000s or 2010s may now see life-altering changes. However, with this blessing comes great responsibility. Financial experts advise planning ahead, forming trusts, consulting wealth advisors, and making long-term decisions that ensure your wealth serves both you and your community. Legal frameworks for exchange are being finalized. Trump's advisory team has already drafted executive guidance, urging Congress and financial regulators to adopt emergency liquidity stabilization measures. These include zero-tax windows for initial exchanges, tiered payout structures to prevent inflation shocks, and expanded financial literacy programs for new wealth holders. Participating banks in the U.S. are expected to open Revaluation service windows within 72 hours of July 29th. Exchange centers nationwide, including Tier 1 and Tier 2 institutions, will roll out secure, by-appointment exchange protocols, digital wallet compatibility, and NDA non-disclosure agreement. Options will be available depending on the size and structure of individual exchanges. For those outside the U.S., similar policies are being mirrored in Canada, the UK, Australia, Germany, and parts of Southeast Asia. Iraq's central bank is scheduled to issue a statement Tuesday morning confirming their readiness for the RV implementation and affirming that all IQD notes currently in circulation, including 3Z notes, will remain valid during the exchange process. Vietnam's finance ministry is coordinating closely with international banks to ensure its citizens and foreign holders of the VND are seamlessly integrated into the new value structure. As part of our mission here at Dinar Info News, we'll be following every development minute. We encourage all our viewers to stay tuned, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single critical update during this unfolding economic shift. This is not just news, this is history, and it's our privilege to walk through it with you. Over the next few episodes, we will dive deeper into step-by-step guides for the exchange process, provide expert interviews with wealth advisors, and break down what this means for global trade, inflation, and future economic models. Some of you may be wondering, what's next after the IQD and VND? Trump hinted, albeit cryptically, at further realignments in the global basket, suggesting that currencies, such as the Zimbabwe dollar ZWL, the Indonesian rupiah IQD, and even the Iranian rial IRR, could be considered for future adjustments, contingent on political stabilization and asset transparency. The global currency revaluation (GCR) seems to be no longer just a theory, but a carefully planned and phased economic evolution. This moment is also a reminder of the importance of staying informed and vigilant. Scammers and bad actors may emerge, seeking to exploit the unprepared. We strongly advise against sharing sensitive financial data online, and always work with verified, credentialed professionals. If something feels too good to be true, it probably is. The RV is real, but so is the need for wisdom and discernment in managing new wealth. For those who have waited years, even decades, for this day, congratulations. You kept the faith. You endured the ridicule. You studied charts, followed economic signals, joined forums, watched updates, and held onto your currency, even when the world said it was worthless. Today, your patience has paid off. Let's also acknowledge the spiritual and emotional dimension of this event. Many in the RV community have spoken of this journey as one of divine timing, global justice, and personal transformation. Whether you see it as a prophecy fulfilled,